Hello there YouTubers, Jordan Blaikie the Liver Flush Man here today with another video here. This video is on how often you should do the liver and gallbladder flush. Alright, and there is no actual right or wrong answer to that. It's very much a personal preference about how much you want to cleanse your body, how optimal you want your liver and gallbladder to be. So these are the general guidelines and the reasons for why you should do more or less liver and gallbladder flushes depending on your body, your conditions, you know, what diseases you might be up against and stuff like that. So generally, the thing about the liver and gallbladder flush is for the average person in this world that lives a busy lifestyle, or you know, most people have a busy daily schedule with work and friends, family, things that they're doing, things they're involved with in groups, things like that. So in reality and practicality, the liver and gallbladder flush is not something you can just do, you know, on a whim note, just all of a sudden, you know, decide to do liver and gallbladder flush that day. Because the importance of preparing properly for the liver and gallbladder flush is just as important as doing the actual flush itself. So in that sense, a person that has a 9-to-5 job, you know, the only times that they can really do it is on the weekend, where they have at least 1 day's rest after the liver flush and gallbladder flush, in order to integrate the energy and the transformations within the body in a healthy, functional way, that they're able to you know, go in society and navigate with that new energy and integrate it in a way that is healthy for that individual. So in that sense, you know, 1 or 2 liver and gallbladder flushes a year is about perfect for the maintenance of a healthy liver and gallbladder. So and so if you do 1 or 2 a year, that's about, you know, proper maintenance. If you are kind of a cleansing kind of person and you do a higher percent of raw food diet than the average person, let's say, then in that sense you know, you have a cleansing kind of body type, then you know, you may want to do, you know, double that, 2 to 4 liver gallbladder flushes a year. So that would be 1 roughly every 3 or 4 months out of the year. Now, if you do that, then just the same, it's important to prepare for a minimum of 3 to 4 days. But preparing for a week or 2 is going to give you better results, more liver and gallbladder stone results. You'll release more stones. It'll be a healthier thing. Now, let's talk about the times when to do the liver and gallbladder flush. What times are better than others? Okay, so there's a couple different things with that. There's also what time of the day. There's also what time of the year, and such as that, such as say spring or winter or fall, things like that. Now, as far as the liver naturally cleansing without a liver and gallbladder flush, the liver and gallbladder releases stones on a kind of a monthly basis according to the moon, the full moon and new moons. So new moons and full moons are the optimal times to do the flush, when the liver is naturally purging and cleansing itself due to the gravitational field of the moon and the ocean, the gravitational force, which accelerates the cleansing process. So if you are going to do 1 or 2 a year, or 3 or 4, then you may want to time it on a new moon or full moon, or close to it, any new moon or full moon during the year. But let's now go into even the most optimal times of the year, including the new and full moons, would be the spring and the fall time. If you look in nature, you see in the spring, it's all regeneration everywhere you see. The animals are reproducing, leaves are growing on trees, the springtime comes, all the flowers come up, perennials. It's a regenerative time where the liver and gallbladder and the whole body in general is going through a transformation of regeneration of new cells, and so if we look at that, then the most optimal time to do the liver and gallbladder flush, if you do it once or twice a year, would be in the spring and the fall. If you do it once a year, it would be best to do it during the spring. If you do it twice a year, once in the spring, once in the fall. If you're doing it 3 or 4 times a year, then maybe 2 in the spring and 2 in the fall. All right, so the thing is, with the fall, you look at fall, you know, the autumn time, the leaves are falling. That is the old. That is getting rid of the old and making room for the new when spring comes. So when spring cleaning time comes, and you know, in general in the spring and the summer, people you know, do better on a raw food diet as opposed to the winter or the fall, when you know you're trying to build up some of that physical substance in order to keep you warm in the winter, in order to you know, keep things going in your body in a nice healthy way. So so yeah, springtime is the best, and then fall is the next best. And the fall, you know, is getting rid of those stones, those toxic stones, liver and gallstones, and then that's going to give you health benefits during the winter. But more so than that, when spring comes, that stuff that you got rid of, like the leaves of a tree falling in the winter, makes room for the new leaves to grow in the spring. So you're making room for a healthier you, a healthier liver, healthier lifestyle and diet choices by doing the fall liver flush. Now, I have created the World Liver Flush Day, which this day is the most optimal, cosmologically aligned day to do the liver and gallbladder flush. And the reasons why is because this day lines up with the new moon of the spring. So this day is the new moon before the first day of spring. So if you look at new moons and full moons, new moons are more optimal than full moons, but next to new moons, full moons is the next most optimal time. Just like spring, a new moon is like spring, that's the new regeneration, and the full moon is getting rid of the old and making room for the new moon, for the new. Alright, so if you look at that, if you do one liver and gallbladder flush per year, which is a great choice, and a lot of people, you know, that's something practical and realistic that they can do. If you do that, you're probably going to live a healthier, longer, happier life with a higher quality of life. If you do one liver flush or one liver gallbladder flush a year, I would suggest to do it on World Liver Flush Day. I'll repeat, that day is the first new moon before the first day of spring. Now, the first day of spring is March 21st, according to the Mayan calendar and the Mayans. So basically the first new moon before March 21st is the World Liver Day, or World Liver Flush Day, but World Liver Day, and that is cosmologically most aligned to the planets and the stars and everything, where you're going to receive the most beneficial results of your body-mind connection. So how often should you do the liver flush? Well, like I said, it's a personal choice. I myself was I've done quite extreme things with liver and gallbladder flush, as you see in my YouTube channel. Liver Flush Man is my YouTube username. My preparation before doing the liver and gallbladder flush was 4.5 years. 4.5 years of 100% raw food diet as my preparation to then go into a series of 120 liver flushes in 2 years. Alright, so it was 4.5 years on a 100% raw food diet. Then in a 2-year span, I did 120 liver flushes. So that is roughly 1 a week for 2 years. Now that is an extreme kind of scenario, extreme case. I did not have any health conditions that really caused me to have to do these flushes. I did it as by choice, as preventative measures, preventative medicine, in order, and also as an experiment for others to see what happens to a person that does that many liver flushes in such a short period of time. I was doing sometimes 4 liver flushes in a row, each day in a row. 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 4 day, a liver flush each day. I also did what's called olive oil fasting, which I don't recommend for the unexperienced liver flusher. If you've done at least, say, 10 or 20 liver flushes, then I would recommend something like this called olive oil fasting, where you only drink olive oil all day long and you have no other source of food or consumption of any kind, including water or anything, just the olive oil fasting. So I would drink a whole bottle of olive oil per day for 4 days in a row, and an olive oil bottle is roughly 26 ounces. The liver flush protocol itself is between 4 and 8 ounces as the general. So I was drinking 26 ounces per day over the span of a day, and I released massive amounts of stones. So like I'm saying, it's a personal preference. Also, the deciding factor is what kind of body type you have, what kind of lifestyle, and what your goals are to achieve, and what you want to achieve with the liver and gallbladder flush. So I recommend for the average person, 1 or 2 liver flushes per year is great, and that's going to produce great results and prolong your life. And I recommend either new moons or full moons, any new or full moon during the year. And more optimally, like I said, I recommend the spring and the fall, and lining up to a new moon or full moon. But that's about right. 1 or 2 liver flushes a year, 3 or 4 liver flushes per year if you have a cleansing lifestyle. And more than that, it's up to you, and you got to use your intuition as you do the liver flush and as you do the liver gallbladder flush. Really, you go within yourself and feel what kind of benefits do you experience, what kind of side effects do you experience, if any, and then in that way use your intuition to gauge how often you should do it, and based on the pros and cons of the benefits or side effects you experience during it. But so that's about it as far as how often you should do the liver and gallbladder flush. 1 to 4 times per year. If more than that, then use your intuition and gauge by the ones that you have done as to how many you should do. Now, from my own experience doing that many, 120 liver flush in 2 years, I would say it had a lot more pros than cons. I'm glad I did it. I would recommend it for a certain kind of individual that was living a certain kind of lifestyle and wanted to achieve similar results. But other than that, most people will do best off of 1 or 2 liver flushes per year. Alright, so thank you very much for watching. That video is on how often to do liver and gallbladder flush. I'm Jordan Blaikie, the Liver Flush Man. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.